and welcome to The Shared Path. I'm Maggie Linton. Our guest today has a new book that gives guidance to women and girls for living a more relaxed and better life. Angela Coleman is a holistic entrepreneur, creator, and author of over 20 books. She's also the founder of Sisterhood Agenda and operates the Sisterhood Empowerment Academy in the Virgin Islands. Angela also holds certificates in trauma, psychological first aid, suicide prevention, and African holistic health. Her latest book is The Art of Chilling Out for Women. I'm so glad to have you on, Angela. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me, Maggie. I'm happy to be here.
All right, let's talk about a little bit of your background because you really went back and asked the ancestors, in a sense, for guidance, didn't you?
Oh, you can feel that, huh?
Uh-huh.
That's
Yes.
that mind, body, spirit, and absolutely. I've had things that I experienced on my personal journey and work that I've done with my global nonprofit, Sisterhood Agenda, working with women and girls. And I said, it's time to share some of what I've learned and time to also for us to take charge and take back the power to heal ourselves and to change the expectations and change the dialogue and really do what we need to do so that we can be healthy.
Way too many people don't even know what healthy is.
It's true. And one of the key indicators of that is our relationships. So it's like, if you're not engaged in healthy relationships with other people, then you've got to look at what you're doing, what you're attracting, what you're participating in. And once you do become healthier and you start that path for yourself, you'll find that those relationships do change.
And that's the whole idea is for you to really get an inner look at yourself using some African traditions, but also just things that are out there that are part of the earth that can help smooth that path to a healthier and happy life.
Absolutely. Why recreate the wheel when there are tried and true ancient practices that have been practiced across centuries by many cultures, and they know how to be healthy. They know how to self actualize and thrive. They know how to maintain emotional balance. So, really looking at what works and looking at a multidimensional and holistic process. So that's
Right.
why we're in mind, body, spirit integration, because we're looking at the whole person. And the whole person is a system. And we're looking at the environment in which we place ourselves because that's part of energy and we exist in an energetic system.
Again, not everybody really understands that. But one of the things I love is right from the very beginning, you're giving us instructions on what to do, how to use nature to really pump up our lives and to give us a good step forward. Talk about that.
Well, nature is, I think, the epitome of like feminine energy. It's alive, it's vibrant, it's reproducing, it has natural rhythm, and that's also important for us to embrace the natural rhythm of rest, restoration, rejuvenation, and productivity. That's natural to do that, but it has so much healing potential. Our connection to nature, we are nature. We exist in nature. We're part of nature and to recognize it. Sometimes when we're apart from it, that's where we're off balance. We're so impacted by these, material worldly things because we're not connecting to the source of everything. So being able to go for a walk, hiking, go in the woods, do what they call forest bathing, um, even walking barefoot on the grass, even inviting the outdoors in the form of plants and flowers, or even artwork, water, being around water. We all know about the ocean and the sea, the healing trifecta of the sea, the air, and the sun. That used to be a medical prescription. When you weren't feeling well, just to go to the sea, to go feel and experience the healing trifecta. But lakes and even rain, just how healing all of these things are. So incorporating nature was so important for me to include in the book. The art of chilling out teaches you how to chill out, and nature will help you in that process. Nature is healing, it's natural therapy, and also it's accessible to most of us. We can just literally walk outside, walk around the block. That's just exposing yourself to so much. Listen to, the birds, touch the tree. These are things that we shouldn't overlook. These parts of nature, because when we can reconnect, it helps to ground us. The tree is grounded. The tree is bending and adapting and yielding, but still strong and mighty and regal. And that's how we should be too. We could learn a lot from nature. So these are things too that aren't going to cost people anything. So it's not one more thing to have to do, one more thing to have to buy, one more thing to have to, to try. This is something that you incorporate into your life every day. And that's why there are a lot of different sections on how to do that in my holistic prescriptions and in my affirmations. Each section, over 100, will include an affirmation and a holistic prescription. And the holistic prescription includes a call to action, includes Mother Nature, gemstones, and Feng Shui. So,
and the thing I loved about, especially when you talk about the stones, because I have some that sit in my windows and I have a few that, sit on desk and things like that, is the preparation for them too, and having the right ones in the right place. Because so often people just say, well, I'm just going to do this, but they don't really understand what they're doing and why they're doing it, and what stones in particular are needed to bring that good end result.
Right. And someone might say, well, I have no idea about gemstones, or I'm attracted to them, but I don't know how to integrate them or use them in my life. So this is a guide that will help you to do that. So rose quartz, simple. You can keep that on your nightstand. I have a rose quartz in my hair somewhere, some jewelry, hair jewelry.
Yeah, I have
And that,
rose quartz with, yeah.
yeah, and that helps keep your loving vibrations high. It helps you to also to love yourself and love other people, to act in the spirit of love. It can activate your heart chakra, which is important in how we show up and view ourselves and other people.
Once again, we're talking with Angela Coleman, and her latest book is The Art of Chilling Out for Women. And it is really excellent. I love how you break down each chapter, each thing that you are talking about, and giving guidance. Let's talk about also the herbs that you recommend for different different things, whether it's getting rid of grief, whether it's finding your path to something else, finding love, moving it around.
Mm-hmm.
Nature gives us those herbs too. And again, you talk about the preparation and use of them.
Yes. And what I love and what I did on purpose was, herbs are like little magic plants. They're awesome and powerful and strong. The ones that I've used in the art of chilling out for women are common herbs that most people already have in their kitchen because they cook with it. Allspice, cinnamon. You might have green tea. You might have chamomile. You might have all those things already in your kitchen. Thyme. You might have all those things already in your kitchen. So that's, again, I want to minimize kind of the extra steps that people feel like, oh, I have to go and buy stuff. I have to go and get stuff. No, you can work with what you have, and then as means permit, or as your spirit tells you to do, you can go and acquire these things later. Or it's a journey. It's a journey. So that's why I call it also the art of chilling out, because it's a learning process that hopefully you will begin to master as a skill and incorporate into your life as a healthy habit, just like brushing your teeth. You don't question, how do I find time to brush my teeth every day? How do I find time to do X, Y, and Z, but I'm always hearing, how do I find time for self-care? That's a part of self-care. That's a healthy habit that we've become very socially acceptable now to brush your teeth. It's very socially acceptable to do these
Highly
things.
recommended.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I'm hoping will happen with the art of chilling out for women, that our space that we create where we honor ourselves, that we have downtime in which we're contemplating, restoring, visioning, manifesting, will also be something that's socially acceptable and highly recommended. It's essential for our health. We have to make sure we let other people know that too, and that we do it to the point where it becomes not something that people feel guilty about doing or wonder how they can find time to do it.
One of the really important chapters in your book was getting rid of the chaos. I mean, people don't even realize how often their own actions are inviting chaos in. And that's really how they kind of keep going, get maneuvering around it. But you say clear it out in the first place, and then you don't have to worry about doing the maneuvers.
Correct. If we can get to a place where we can tune in, right? Tuning in, also you're tuning into spirit. We can hear our intuition. We can hear our inner voice. Some people are like, well, I don't have one. I can't hear it. If there's too much noise, you can't hear it. It's difficult to hear it. So getting rid of the chaos is not only literally decluttering, which is a feng shui principle too, where you clear the clutter. That opens up the physical environment, but it also opens up mental and spiritual space as well. So now you can expand, now you can grow, now you can actually see and feel what's there. And you're creating also space for your blessings instead of holding on to something old and something that's no longer serving your best interest.
You talked about holding on to something old. People do have a tendency to hold on to grief.
Mm-hmm.
And I realize grief takes healing, but at the same time, it can be blocking so many blessings that can come your way if you let go of it. And you give a great process for that too.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Um, it's normal to grieve, just like it's normal to celebrate, and it's healthy to feel your feelings. I have another section called Feel Your Feelings. And it's great to
I
be
was
in your
getting to that, but thank you very
yeah.
much.
Right. So grief is a process, and everybody heals and everybody experiences trauma and grief differently. So that process is going to look different and feel different. And there's no time, that's like, are you done yet? You don't have to be on a time schedule. But I think the most important thing to do is to be moving through, to not get stuck, to when you feel like you're stuck, to recognize, hey, I think I might be stuck. And that's one of the, I think, best uses of the book is as a reference guide, so that if you're feeling somehow like you're a little stuck, you can tune into a chapter that's really relevant to your life right now and say, this is resonating with me, this is happening with me, and also be able to then do the affirmation and the call to action and get, use the herbs and do the things that are necessary, that are helpful in helping you navigate that and move through it, so that successfully move through it. And I say successfully because for me, success is health. Success is being able to still be healthy despite what is going on around you. So like we really saw with the pandemic, it really tested that, right?
Yes.
Grounded,
Yes.
how healthy are you really? How much can you really adapt? How flexible are
Mm-hmm.
you? How open-minded are you to change and new ways of thinking and doing? So, and I think it's so important. It teaches a lesson. I think the most adaptable people are the ones who still did well despite loss for other people. And to recognize when one door closes, that it's often spirit teaching you and guiding you to the open doors, and to recognize that there are open doors. So I do understand that change can be difficult. but it's also change is a constant. It's always going to happen. So when these big things happen, they really throw us off balance. Our equilibrium is affected. And when you're healthy and you have that foundation of healthy self love and self care, and hopefully incorporated the art of chilling out, you can bounce back. You bounce back from those things. You're resilient. It really increases your resilience.
We talk a lot about, well, every single chapter, and they're brief, folks. They're, we're talking about a couple pages for each one, really keeps you moving. And as Angela just said, you can kind of go through and pick and choose, but I'd recommend doing it the whole way through first time and then come back and find those chapters that really resonate with you. Feng Shui, we start hearing about it a lot of times when people are buying homes and stuff, but it's
Mhm.
something that should be as much a part of your life on a daily basis.
It is, and it's such a simple way, I think, to really create an environment that promotes your uh, physical and mental health and emotional well-being. And there are spaces too that can deplete you or can kind of bring you down. So it's like a mood enhancer and it's a health enhancer, and you can do it. And it's like if it helps, why not do it? It's got to be included. I had to include it and incorporate it because it's so important. And also, it's something you can do at home, something you can do in your workspace. It's something that you can teach your children. And it's basic again, and that's part of the nature therapy too. It's using 5 elements in nature, um, it just to achieve balance and harmony.
No, you just mentioned it's something you can teach your children. And this is your book is the kind of book that you can share with your children right from the very beginning, because the sooner you understand the elements, the better off their lives will be and calmer too, because you see so many reports now about young kids committing suicide. And you want to say, why are they so hopeless at such an early age? And
Mm-hmm.
this will help change that.
Well, thank you. I'm always thinking about our girls and young people, and how each generation has such special gifts to give to the world. And so, and each generation also has challenges, that are unique to that generation. And so to recognize both, but look at the universal application of healing and chilling out, and especially the aspects of unplugging and resetting and moving through and feeling your feelings, but not getting stuck and not becoming their feelings. As young people are developing, they need our wisdom, they need our support, they need our guidance. And so it's so important for the work that I'm doing with Sisterhood Agenda, but also for all of us as parents, that we model that behavior. Just even by doing this ourselves, we're teaching other people too. We're teaching our children, we're teaching our spouses, our friends, our employers, if we're employed with other people, our boundaries and who we are. And that's important as well.
Sisterhood agenda. That's a it's something that says let's all come together and have some focus on what we want to do, not just now, but also for the future.
Absolutely. And it's about educating, supporting, and empowering women and girls. And a nonprofit organization, Sisterhood Agenda, does that, working with over 6,000 global partners in 37 countries. And we're enrolling girls now for our Sister Camp Summer Enrichment Program, where we teach girls how to live their best lives and to embrace who they are, and to bond and share and uplift each other in the spirit of sisterhood, and learn new skills and critical thinking and ways of expressing themselves in the process.
When you said critical thinking, I thought, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's such an important need because way too often especially young people, young girls, seem to not understand how important that is. They kind of get caught up in what so and so's doing and does this guy like me and stuff. I had a little bit of that, but my parents kept putting me back on track. And
Mhm.
that's what your sisterhood does, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're there in partnership with parents, with schools, with churches, with other people and institutions um, to help our girls to be healthy. Part of being healthy is the critical thinking part, especially with social media, sisterhood agenda. Like this, the art of chilling out for women is my 23rd book. I've
Oh,
written
she
seven.
likes to write.
Yeah, I do. I like to write, and
Yeah.
a lot of what I write is on girls development, girls guide. I write it's a book series we have. And our latest girls guide that we're just getting ready to publish now is how to cope with social media addiction. So it's a girls guide of how to do that, and it's that's where the critical thinking comes in. And our emotions are valid. Our emotions are to be honored and respected. But again, we are not our emotions, and they pass and they change. And even you had mentioned suicide. One of my certifications is in suicide prevention and also psychological first aid. And that sense of hopelessness um, resonates with them because they don't see a better tomorrow. If you don't see a better tomorrow or that this will pass, they don't have the perspective to know and understand that this thing is not permanent. It feels so permanent and heavy for them. So I think sometimes grief can be like that too. When we experience a loss in our lives, we feel that as well. So having the perspective that this is just one part of your whole life and one chapter or just one verse, and that each day is new and different. Each hour is new and different, and to get through it, that you can get past it. So the sisterhood definitely is that support system that we all need so that young girls and also women, because we have sister circles for women, know that they are not alone, that they're supported, and they have someone who has their back and is also looking out for their best interests and who's going to be a cheerleader for them and is going to be whatever they might need at the time to do their best to be that for them or to get that for them. Yeah, this is my
See, you've
kid.
got some
She's
care
just,
going on there.
I know, she's just insisting, probably because I'm talking a lot. She likes to be around me when I'm talking.
I love it. Well, that's having a great pet can also be such a calming effect in the life. Again, I guess in a sense you say choosing the right pet can make a big difference. But having something that you can care for, that you can focus on, other than even though you want them to focus on themselves, but giving that love is so important.
Oh, I think that our furry, our furry friends and our fur babies, I think they choose us to a large extent, right?
Very true. Very true. Very true.
Yeah, and it's a source of joy. It's actually, I write about it in The Art of Chilling Out for Women,
Hmm.
how that's taking time. Just taking the time to pet and play is, you know, that's part of incorporating the art of chilling out too. And what does that take? 5 minutes, maybe, or less than a
Or
minute
less.
sometimes.
Yeah.
But it diverts your attention away from whatever task at hand or whatever feeling you were feeling. And it gets you out of that, at least momentarily. And again, you're connecting to something living and breathing and vibrant, and that has positive energy for you. So those are all good things.
Listen, I'm counting down the last moments. Anything else you'd like to leave with our listeners today?
We would just encourage everyone to get up and go outside, to walk, to
Beautiful spring.
play, yeah, to have those hobbies, and also light a candle, bring some plants in to clear the clutter, and move your body, get those endorphins going, and to I welcome the feedback. I really want to know how different readers are using the book. I have one reader who says she chooses a number from 1 to 101 every day, and then she looks through the book that way of how people are using the book and utilizing it. I'm like you. I read it front, cover to cover, front to back. But yeah, I'm really curious that people can reach out and let me know how they enjoy it, how they use the book.
And they can sure find out lots more beautiful pictures too at your website, which is angeladcoleman.com. Once again, angeladcoleman.com. The book is The Art of Chilling Out for Women. I don't know if it's not coming in, but go and view. It's a beautiful cover.
I
It's
have
a,
one, even though it's on
you
my
got
book.
one? All right, there it is. There it is. The
This is
Art of
how I
Chilling
use
Out
my
for
book.
Women.
I have notes everywhere.
Yeah. Well, you didn't see mine, but mine's got a bunch of little stuff stuck there too. Thank you so much. I wish you continued blessings and lots of love from all of us here. Okay.
Thank you so much for having me and such a warm welcome. I enjoyed talking to you.
Same here. Once again, many thanks to Angela Coleman. Her new book is The Art of Chilling Out for Women. It's available through her website, AngelaDColeman.com, SimonandSchuster.com, or wherever you get your books. Until the next time, seek peace, spread lots of love. I'm Maggie Linton.